Welcome to Tracking the Wolves. I'm Josh Moon, Director of Athletics at Northern State University, and today we've got a special guest, head football coach Tom Dosch. Coach, we're just finishing the spring season. It's been an interesting spring to say the least. Can you give us a recap of the highs and lows? And I know we're going to talk a lot about weather here too, but give us a recap of the spring.
Well, we have 15 practices is what we can allowed to have by NCAA regulations. We have 12 practices in pads, and then we have 3 practices that have to be just helmets only. And we got 14 of our 15 practices in. We had one non-padded practice that we did not get in. But you know, as bad as the weather's been, as much as we had to adjust to the weather this spring, really for the most part, we really felt pretty good about the work that we got done once we got out there. We had to help clean the field off a couple times, but our guys really had a great attitude when they came out there, and you know, practicing a lot of times early in the morning before classes get going, before everybody gets running with classes and everything else. Really had some days that honestly weren't all that nice, but I was real impressed with our guys. Nobody complained or did anything. They just showed up and worked hard. And that's probably the best way to describe our team now anyway. It's just kind of the attitude and the work ethic that they bring to the table. Guys just show up and go. And excited about that, and really you could see us get better as the spring went along. We really jammed our first 7 practices into about 9 or 10 days at the start of spring, and then we had Easter break, and we kind of took a deep breath and kind of got ourselves back mentally and physically, and then our last 7 practices were really over the last week and a half, 11 days after Easter break. So we did a kind of a high intense short spurt kind of thing where we were practicing almost every day or every other day, but a lot of combination of good amount of experience, returning a lot of guys that played quite a bit for us this past year and previous 2 or 3 years, in addition to a real good freshman class, of which we redshirted just about everybody in our freshman class. And after those guys were spending January and February and part of March in the weight room and running and lifting and doing all the stuff that you got to do in the winter, it was fun to see that stuff get transferred out to the field and go from lifting and running to actually playing. And excited with our guys and how they progressed and how they handled things throughout the course of the spring. And it really worked. And the one thing you can tell when you watch our team practice, I think, is you can tell we've got a lot of guys who've been in our program for a while in terms of just knowing how to practice, Josh. And when we blow whistles, we're talking about going to the next drill. We got kids that are going there and they're ready to go. And we really emphasize tempo and pace of practice with our guys. We don't practice that long. We really are out there total for less than 2 hours. But it's all about quality reps and everybody's moving. And our guys really did a good job with that all spring. And that's real noticeable when you watch our team go.
I think one of the neat things with your program is there's that buy-in. You talk about being part of the program and buying into a theme. And this year's theme or this fall's theme is whatever it takes. And part of that is getting up, shoveling snow off the field, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to practice, which aren't ideal times. How important is that for the team to kind of buy into that theme? And last year was leave no doubt. This year's whatever it takes. I think it's a good example of kind of what that team is and really how close these guys are.
Right. Now, how do we pick? We pick a motto every year. Really, the players will nominate in January. I'll ask them for different ideas. We'll get 2 or 3 that we'll vote on as a team collectively, and that's, like you said, whatever it takes is the motto that our guys picked this year. And we really like to say we want it to be more than just football. We want it to apply to you as a student, you as a person. Do whatever it takes. And in this case, in football, doing whatever it takes to help our team or be successful. As a student or sacrifice whatever you got to do, and that's really a lot of what our guys did this year was sacrifice and not worry too much about external environments. More so just when you get a chance to practice, you get a chance to lift or run or whatever. Let's just find a way to keep getting better at it. And yeah, you're exactly right. We got a lot of guys buying into it, and it starts with your older guys. We've got not a huge senior class. We got 12 seniors, but we also have, I think, about 13 or 14 redshirt juniors, so guys who are entering their 4th year. So we've got, I think, about 24, 25 guys who will be in their 4th year or beyond next year in our program. So what does that mean? Well, it means those guys have stuck it out here during some good times and not so good times, but they know what's expected of them in the weight room. They know what's expected when we practice and how we go about things. And so that's what you hope as a coach, that becomes where you really want your older guys, your upperclassmen, to to lead your team and take ownership in the team. And then you as a coach become a facilitator, and you know, you still are running practices, you're doing everything, but you want it to be where the older guys feel like this is how we're going to do it. And our work ethic of our older guys is really good. Our guys work hard, and then what does that do? That your young players really have no choice but to follow along. You know, if you've got a 2 or 3 or 4 year starter who's working his tail off and not taking any shortcuts and doing everything and doing extra stuff in the weight room, well, if you're a freshman who just redshirted and you see an older guy doing that, you really have no choice but to follow that guy's lead. And that's what we've seen so far from our team. And that's encouraging when the guys within your team can really kind of regulate things and run the operation some days. And you as a coach are just kind of overseeing things. And those are the best teams that I've been a part of as a coach.
You mentioned the redshirt freshmen. We got a large number of those guys that came in last year, the whole college experience. This is really the first part of them, you know, taking that step into playing next fall. Can you talk about maybe some of those performances from the redshirt freshmen this spring?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. You know, I'll probably mention a few names. I'm going to probably forget a few names, but you know, a year and a half ago, we really felt that it was probably our best class that we've signed, quality and quantity. You know, we signed 39 guys and really felt the quality of those guys was really good as just overall as athletes. When you were seeing what they did as football players, certainly, but as track and field guys, as wrestlers, as baseball players, basketball players, they were just good multi-sport guys. And so, you know, we had 82 guys on our team this year for spring ball, which is the most we've had. That really creates a lot of competition within your team. You know, so even if you are a 3rd or 4th year guy, you can see that there's young guys that are behind me right now that are pretty darn good. So I better get going. And really, that's what we're hoping to do, is create as much competition as we can. So, you know, I guess I'll start on the offensive side. We got a couple of tight ends, Cody Kraft and Connor Doherty. Again, we're talking about all redshirt freshmen here that really progressed nicely and doing a lot of good things. A couple offensive linemen, Tyler Roble, Jacob Adam, and Blake Lohr, probably the 3 guys that jump out at you there. A couple running backs, Steven Erlinson and Taylor Houchins. Taylor's playing a little wide receiver and running back. Did some good things, and then some wide receivers as well. Tyson Zemlicka, wide receiver, did a lot of good things for us. And also his twin brother, quarterback Taylor Zemlicka. So a good chunk of guys there. And again, there's a few guys I'm going to forget about, but those are probably some of the guys that jumped out at us in spring ball on the offensive side of the ball. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you know, really starts up front. Our defensive line, we really feel we've got a good group of young defensive linemen. Chad Stottero, Tanner Lopez, Dalton Wanger, and Thad Johnson are all the first-year guys that really, when you watch us play and you watch it, those guys really got a lot better and have a chance to really be good players. And if you watched us play over the years, you know we play a lot of guys on defense. We play a lot of guys on the defensive line. Those guys are pushing for immediate playing time. And then linebacker positions, we had Trevor Heining, who's an inside linebacker, showed a lot of good things. And Dakota Oderman, who did not redshirt. He's the only guy who did not redshirt last year. Dakota, we needed him to play him. He played on defense. He played on special teams. Really jumped in and did some real positive things for us as well. And Tanner Fettrell, Adam Weiser, a couple other guys as well. And then in the defensive backfield, same thing. We've got a good group of guys there. Channing Barber showed a lot of good things this spring as a cornerback, and then a couple safeties, Joe Parsley and Matt Thorson, who we'll see some highlights on those guys in a little bit. So really a lot of good stuff out of that class, and you can really tell that the competition and the depth within our whole team is better, but when you have young guys who are performing that well and playing with confidence, it pushes everybody and makes everybody better.
What's the message to the team now as we kind of finish the academic year here and say, hey, this is the final push here before the fall, the summer? You know, some guys go home, some guys stay here, but what's the message to the team before they leave? Yeah,
we finished up with spring ball being something of an oxymoron this year, I guess you could say, with spring ball. We finished up with that on Saturday with our spring game, and then we, as a coaching staff, we go through and evaluate every player and do an evaluation that we have on each guy, and then I meet with each player individually, and then each of the position coaches meets with each of their guys as well. We do a lot of that this week, doing some house cleaning stuff, and then we're really down to 2 weeks of school left, which is hard to believe. And so we'll, by NCAA rule, we really can't have any countable activities the last 2 weeks of school, so that guys will be lifting and stuff on their own. And then we have some time off built in there after finals. And we do have several guys from distance guys who are from California or Arizona, across the country, and they'll get home and spend some time with their family, as well as our local guys as well. They'll be working out and stuff, and then our guys will get back, and end of May we'll start up doing some our summer workouts, which are not mandatory, but we've had a lot of guys there working hard the last few summers, and all indications that we've gotten this week is we're probably going to have somewhere around 60 guys here for all or part of the summer, which is 3/4 of our team, which is really exciting and encouraging as a coach, because we really can't spend time directly with them. They're running the drills and stuff themselves, but it's really good for our team, because the thing about football is we start practice the 14th of August, we report, and then we jump right into our conference season. 3 weeks after we report, we're playing conference games. So we don't have any exhibition games, we don't have preseason games, we're going. So you got to be ready to go when August gets here. And so now we really push about the importance of summer workouts, and I think it's good for your team building too. Guys get to hang out, and it's a little different environment. You're not going to class every day and stuff. We got a lot of guys getting jobs and stuff in town, but workouts and stuff. So it's I think a little bit more of a relaxed atmosphere, and you want the guys to enjoy it and build your team chemistry as well during that time. So that's really what we push on to now after school ends, is some time off, and then the guys will come back and get after it pretty hard. June and July are really two big months for our development as a football team.
And you also have some alumni events coming up here. You do your annual golf outing, which is very important to the program. We also have a all football reunion surrounding Gypsy Days this year, trying to get all the alums, football alums, back to kind of see you. And you're going into your third year, fourth year, and trying to get more people back to the program, and really may have been outside of the area here. Can you talk about those two events coming up?
Yeah, we've got our 16th or 17th annual golf tournament and scramble. It's at Lee Park Golf Course on Friday, June 7th. And then in conjunction with that, as you mentioned, we're going to do some football alumni days that weekend, and really pretty informal, kind of no-host things, but we're going to do some things where we just want to get reconnected with our alums, because we'll also do something in October too, the first weekend in October with Gypsy Days. But a couple things that have come to my attention are just having maybe doing something in the summer. We since Northern is a big teacher and coaching college, we've got a lot of alums who are coaching, and so they have a hard time making it back for Gypsy Days and that sort of stuff. So we're pushing that in conjunction with our golf tournament, which is open to anybody, and that's really our biggest fundraiser that we have as a football program, for being able to do a lot of things within our program, budget-wise and apparel-wise and coaching-wise, and all the stuff that we're able to do with our fundraiser, our golf tournament. But it's also, like you mentioned, just getting reconnected and getting connected, not only with myself and our staff with alums, but also for alums to get reconnected and really come back and see all the new stuff that's going on our campus. A lot of guys haven't been back for several years, and so to see our weight room and to see the Barnett Center changes and all the stuff that's going on, that's pretty exciting now. Is a lot of guys probably don't make it back much. So we're reaching out and trying to do a good job with that, just to stay reconnected now. And then also in October, weekend of October 5th is Gypsy Days. We'll also have an all football reunion gathering as well then. So yeah, it's a couple ways for us to help raise some additional funds, but also just get connected and get our alums connected back to Northern if they aren't, or they haven't been in a few years, or if they are, just to strengthen those ties that they've got already.
And it won't be snowing in June.
I guarantee that.
Okay, that's a quote you've heard here today, because it actually is snowing today in April. So it won't snow in June. We're gonna have a nice.
It won't snow the whole month. I'll guarantee you. Right. It will not snow the entire month of June. I can't guarantee. That's a guarantee.
You get the guarantees here on Tracking.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we've got some exciting events coming up here for football, and we're excited with where the program is going here, and very competitive schedule next fall. 6 home games at Swisher Field. So I think that's a huge thing for us. Having a night game to kick off the season against Wayne State that first Saturday. So I think that's a very exciting time to get a night game, kind of get that whole atmosphere build up for the football season, and really kick off the academic year for the Northern State universities. So excited for where the football program is going again, and hopefully next time we talk to you, it will be nice and sunny. So until next time, go Wolves.